Hello everyone and welcome to um, Premiere draft of Brothers War, and this also features Alchemy card. As you can see, this pack has not only the retro artifact, which isn't the rare, but I guess it could be. There's the Brothers War rare, and then there's an Alchemy card, which could be an uncommon rare or a mythic rare, because Alchemy cards won't. There's no common rarity Alchemy cards. So the point is to just you know uh, see how the draft format changes because of these alchemy cards, and I also want to collect them. So, and this being a mythic rare means I'm gonna pick it. Let's see, the pack has a Queen Kayla, Hero of the Dunes, Junkyard Genius, very good cards, Opportunist, Epic Confrontation, really good stuff. But let's see what this thing does. 3 mana 3/3 requires 2 colors, has intensity 1 at first. Okay, so you can cast stuff from your graveyard, but you will have to have 1 mana spell, 2 mana spell, and so on. So not necessarily as good as something like a Queen Kayla or the Hero of the Dunes or the Junkyard Genius, but it's an Alchemy mythic rare, and I want to collect all of them. There are 5 of them. I mean the mythic rares, and that means I want to collect all 20. 4 times 5 of them, and this is also, it's more fun to play with the alchemy cards, because this event is going to be like for a week, and there's not much time to play this event. So I will also want to see how the cards you know do in this draft format, and this is a reason to pick some 1 mana cards for sure. Of course my deck will have 2 and 3 mana cards always, but the tricky part with this thing is to get the 1 mana card, but they are of course playable 1 mana cards. Now I think I could take the Skyfisher Spider here, a really good one. Good splash for one or the other of these. Although I don't really know if this is worth splashing, but I think I'm gonna take the Argoth. This is really good, no matter what. If I'm gonna play green, that is just a free, kind of a spell in your spell land sort of. But it's not even a spell land, because it's always as a land, and then it has additional utility. Who knows? Maybe I will get a counterpart and actually get to melt. But this is really good in any green deck. Very high pick. I'm of course not necessarily going to be green, but based on my first pick, who knows? I might be. Alright, there's an Altar of Dementia. There's a Gruesome Realization, Argivian Avenger, a couple of green playables here. Not a very strong pack actually. I could take the Giant Growth, but to make it work with this thing. It's one of the 1 mana cards you don't mind playing in your deck. Although pick 3 Giant Growth is very early. I think I'm gonna take the Altar of Dimension, not only because it's a mythic rare and I wanna of course complete the retro artifacts too, but it's actually playable, and when you take it early in the draft, I could maybe try to draft around it. So let's take it and let's see if I can make it work. Now this is a best of 1 event, so usually I take Altar of Dementia and say that it's a good sideboard card against certain decks. Now I have to either include it in my main deck, or I won't be playing it at all. There's no sideboarding it in. Alright, so Cradle Clear Cutter. That's a playable green card. This pack is fairly weak, in fact. There's an Energy Refractor, which wouldn't be that bad. I like the Juggernaut, but maybe not enough to make it a pick 3. I mean 4 actually. I have already 3 cards. Burnished Heart. This is very slow. It helps you splash indeed, yeah, but I would rather take the Refractor if I want to have a splash thing. This is 3 mana to cast and 3 to activate. It's a lot, and of course 3 mana 2/2 isn't a great stat line at all. I might just take the Clear Cutter. It's a fairly weak pack. I don't like the laydown arms that much, especially when I don't have any white cards here yet. So what's open? Now it starts to be the point in the draft when I can kind of try to figure out if something is open. There's a really decent black card. The Emergency Weld is always good. This the Steel Lesson is good almost in any blue deck actually. This could be very good in certain kind of decks. Not necessarily a signal that blue is open. There's a Juggernaut again, but I don't think it's a big signal. The green cards are weak. There's a Prison Sentence, which is the strongest signal here that might be open, even though this card isn't that amazing. The Springleaf Drum is a card that you usually don't end up in my graveyard, so it's not so good with this thing, even though it is a 1 mana card. I think I'll take the strongest card in the pack, because I don't know if I'm gonna be red-green. I'll just take the best card. If I'm getting past some more good white cards, I definitely would feel bad about not picking the Prison Sentence, because the other options in that pack were fairly mediocre. Now this isn't really a great payoff. This can be nice in some kind of decks, but it doesn't seem like my deck is gonna work with that. So am I gonna stick with the red-green? I could just take the, I think I like the Forge Chandra more than the Honor Guard. This is good, but I'd rather prefer taking creatures first. Don't know really. Maybe I'll take the 3 power 2-drop though, because I have the Altar of Dementia, which I might play. I want to have high power. The statue would be fine too, but I guess I'll take the 2-drop. Now, these are not great, these 3 ones in this set, because there's a lot of 1/1 tokens and stuff like that. That are so easy to trade with this thing, but it doesn't cost more than 2 mana, so trading this with some nonsense maybe is not so bad. Alright, so assemble the team is interesting. Tutor effect. It's black, so I kind of want to still be red here, maybe. I don't think this is enough to go and draft black. Yeah, top third is not much in limited especially. Alright, maybe I'll take the Inspector. I don't think it's that good. You could take the Refractor too, actually. But I can still pick some artifacts, and then this can be a lot better than it currently seems to be. Alright, so now I get a very nice blue-black card, but I don't know, it really doesn't fit my deck now. Alright, so there is a Loran, which can be good in certain decks. I'm just trying to figure out if I should ignore the red-green, the mythic rare here. It's just a 3 mana 3/3 in the end, if you don't get to use the ability. I could take the Loran, but I could take the Blast Runner. It's actually something that I can get back with the Jarsil. But I already have a Prison Sentence, which is better than this thing. Fine. Let's take the Disciple of History. Let's forget about the red for now. And this pack is not good, but I can take the Flask. And then another Honor Guard and some nonsense layup. I don't like playing multiple of these guys, but I guess that pack was just quite weak. Now the best card here is the Gruesome Realization, but can I pick it? Well, of course I can, because these options aren't that great. I actually take that just in case black turns out being a color I'm drafting, then I'd rather have these. I'm not interested in those random 3-drops, even if I end up in red after all. So this really basically requires blue to be playable. Let's take the Tinkering. I don't really assume to be playing it, but who knows. Alright, well, I'd rather have the cooldown if blue is gonna be one of my colors than the infantry. I don't really think the infantry is that amazing. None of these matter. I didn't get the Giant Growth, but oh, this is actually fine. I can put it to the deck. I didn't get the Giant Growth, but then again, it doesn't necessarily seem like I'm gonna play this card at all. Alright, so there is a Alchemy rare from green. When this thing enters the battlefield, sacrifice a land, then conjure 2 cards that are Misa's Foundries. And they enter the battlefield tapped, so wow, that's amazing. I'll take that. I don't even need to see what else the pack has offer, but first of all, this is mana accelerating. Now you have to sacrifice a land, and then you get 2 colorless producing lands, but getting 2 of these means that one of them can attack with the threat of it being a 4/4, or you can have two attackers or blockers. But yeah, it also ramps you, so this is fantastic. I'm gonna take it. Transpider would be fine. Oh, the Stone Seeker, great. If I would end up being red, there's the Epic Confrontation. There's a Scrapwork cohort, which would be really nice if I end up white. But I mean, this rare is really easy pick. It's also an Alchemy card, so it's great to get to play those. And someone now took the Alchemy card from this pack already. And look at this, there's another Stone Seeker. I just passed one. Now there's also Scrapwork cohort, which is really good, obviously. I mean, the Stone Seeker is, I think, better than the cohort, but what does my deck do? I have a lot on, not that many good targets for it necessarily. I guess there is like an Elsewhere Flask, which I can at least return easily by sacking and then getting it back and drawing a card. The cohort is really good, but the Stone Seeker is also. There's also a Brassland, which could maybe come back to me if I stick to green-white here. Wow, I think I'd still take the 2-drop. It's definitely between the 2-drop and the cohort, but I guess I have like the Prison Sentence and the Loran, which is maybe not that amazing. There's a Scrapwork Mutt, which is really good. The Steel Seeker is good too. Well, there's nothing that's... and the Strong Bull can really, of course, shine as well. Now this is good, but Mutt is just so good. This Stalwart could work too. I guess I'll take the mat, regardless if I'm gonna be red, green, or something. I can play this in any color combination, and it's definitely worth playing, even if you can't unearth it. Of course, it's much better when you have the unearth option available. Well, yeah, let's take it and move on. Okay, another brushland here. But it seems like I might be red-green after all. This pack doesn't have anything white, I mean, apart from the land here. Well, let's take the reconstructed Thopter. I could take the patrol, but I think I prefer the flyer slightly more. And now, if I'm gonna be red-green, I do want to again pick up some 1-drops to get this thing going. You don't get any... Yeah, you get the intensity increase only if you get to cast first something at 1. Yeah, so let's try to get something that costs 1 and is actually playable. Sylvan Smite, oh, this is good regardless, right? So let's quickly see if there's anything interesting. Well, there is the Gaia's Gift, but Sylvan Smite, so this is one of these alchemy mechanics where which cares about whether you started the game or not. And if you were on the draw, you get some bonus. In this case, get a +1/+1 counter. Now this is of course a similar card to what Master's Rebuke, and we have had these kind of instant speed bite spells, but half the time you are going to be actually getting a +1/+1 counter, and this would be a playable card regardless, but when you get the counter it's even better, so it's an easy pick over the Gaia's Gift in here. Okay, well, I think I'll take the Hijar here, because, oh man, there are actually 2 1-drops which I would want to play. Both of these end up in the graveyard, and then you could use this Jarsil here. But if I'm red-green, I'm gonna take the 2-mana 3/3, because that is just, based on the stat line alone, it's really cool. 2-mana 3/3 is no joke. And, I might get... How many legendary creatures do I have here? Well, I'm not sure if I'm going to splash the Lorano. I guess I could, but and the Jarsil is legendary creature. Well, there's a possibility this ability also does something, but I'm going to take the very, very cheap creature here now. It's a shame I had to pass those 1-mana cards. This is a fine card. Now, not all decks have creatures with power 4 or greater, but I think I would still play this in any blue-white deck. Alright, so let's take the Patrol, I guess. It's slightly better than the Chain Dancer. 3-mana 3/3. Okay, Argotian Sprite is good. There's this thing, if I'm actually splashing white, which I guess I could, but I don't know how many 2-drops that is. I don't have to play all the honor cards. Also, I'm not sure about the Altar of Dementia now. I guess I'll take the Sprite. Also something to sink mana on later in the game. I don't have a lot of expensive stuff at all, but this is one way to use mana. Alright, Scrapwork Cohort, I think I'll take it, and I'm at least gonna have some way maybe to unearth it. I don't really think the Mishra is very good at all. 3-mana 2/1 haste is very, very miserable. I much prefer the prototype thing that it can be a 3-mana 3/2 haste or then a 7-drop if you have the mana for it. Alright, so here Disenchant, if I'm splashing, I'm not sure if I want to splash for a Disenchant. It's okay, but I actually think the supply drop is the better card. I quite like the supply drop nowadays, and I'm happy to take the Stalwart, so that's one way to get the Jarsil going. Let's see if I can actually make it happen. None of these things matter, but I guess I'll take the Alchemy Uncommon. I'm not gonna play any of these. I don't even have to care about sideboarding now. I know I'm not gonna play the Domination, so I'll just take the Uncommon. Okay, Rock Hunter playable, but I think I have already enough 3-1, 2-drops. But anyway, alright. Wow, what a pack. Let's see the Alchemy card first. So this is, as you can see, this is possible in this set when we have retro artifacts and alchemy. So the triple rare packs are a thing. Wow, what a pack. There's an Obstinate Bailoff. Well, that is a good one for my colors, and then there's the Remorse, and of course the Dissident is quite good. But so this thing, 4-mana 3/3 haste, when this enters the battlefield, non-token creature or artifact in your... Okay, so you get some extra damage because something in your graveyard gets unearthed, basically. Alright, but there's a Helm of the Host, there's an Autonomous Assembler. I actually will take the Helm of the Host because it's a mythic rare retro artifact. And these are all good. I mean, I guess I would take the Assembler over the Alchemy rare, but I mean this Helm of the Host is slow, but this can also just win the game. And I have a fairly low curve here, so I think I will have mana to fool around with this thing. You have to pay 4+5, but given how cheap cards in my deck, the cards in my deck are, I think the Helm of the Host is actually a reasonable inclusion in this deck. Well, Giant Cinnamon, great 3-drop, but there's also the shock variant here. Melt through. I mean, it's basically a shock, of course. Any target, it can even target players, so it's a strict upgrade, just like Play with Fire is. And then you can, deal with bigger creatures with help of this card over multiple turns. I'm taking this over the Cinnamon because it's now another good 1-mana spell. I want to, be able to get the Jersey chain going on with this thing. Oh, what a pack. Can I please have the rare, the engineers, and the excavation explosion, and that would be great. Well, I can't be sad about having a pack like this, but oh man. I guess I need the removal because I have a bunch of creatures, not so many removal spells here. And there's like a small chance this comes back. This Gwenna is definitely not coming back to me, but this can come back. I'm not, I think it's below 50% that it comes back, but it's a possibility. Explosion wouldn't come back either, and I think this is more needed in this deck. Alright, so I think it's time to actually take a Mithras Juggernaut, just to have actually something expensive. I'm not gonna splash the white, I don't think. I might play the Cohort. I have a Citadel Stalwart that can give me the mana. I haven't really figured out what I'm starting to cut here, because of course I'm already going to cut something here, but a Juggernaut is interesting because it's something to play later in the game, and I'm a pretty low curve deck now. I think I might play another Stalwart, still also a way to support the Cohort on Earth. But yeah, let's take the Juggernaut for now. Over the top. Well, no thanks. That's unnecessary. But what is the pick then? Okay. I don't know. I could take the 2-drop, that is slightly better than what I have, but I don't think it is necessary. I could take the Cohort number 2. I could take the Flyer number 2. I mean, should I take the Thopter? I'm a fairly aggressive deck. I could take another Flyer here. Yeah, let's take the Flyer. Gaia's Gift isn't bad either, but let's take the Unearthed Flyer. Okay, Giant Growth, I think I'll want that. There is an Unleash Shell, but now with 3 1-mana spells, I have a somewhat of a realistic chance to get this chain going. And of course I will have a lot of 2s and 3s, so I'm not worried about that part. But I'll take the Giant Growth here. I think it suits this deck, which tries to be an aggressive one. Okay, Alchemized would be good if I had more, Power Stone generating. I don't have much at all, and I have stuff like Elsewhere, Flask and Energy Refractor. I'm not sure if I can even fit them to the deck. I'm gonna just take the Sprite here, which is gonna be pretty great here. Another Giant Growth. Raise to the Ground. Now this is something I'm happy to have in my sideboard in best of 3, but this is now best of 1. Am I going to play this thing or not? I'm not gonna play the Blanchwood Armor, but I could play another copy of a Giant Growth. I'm actually gonna try the Giant Growth stuff, mostly because of the Jarsil here. Alright, so what's this? Rust Goliath won't be a 10-10 like ever, and I don't think I want to have in this deck, which is more aggressive than defensive. I don't want to have a 5-mana 3/5, so because I know I'm not gonna play it, I'll just take the Altar, which is an uncommon. And here, same story, doesn't matter. Oh, there's a Strong Bull. Well, I mean, I actually think I'm gonna cut a bunch of these artifacts. I'll pick it for now anyway. Alright, so I don't need a 3rd Honor Guard. I think I will be maybe dropping some of those 2-drops. Let's take the Drum, although I'm not gonna play it. Pretty late Stern Lesson, by the way. Am I gonna play the Onslaught? I don't really think this is a lot of cards. I will cut so many cards that Onslaught will be among the cut cards, so let's continue taking the Uncommon. So 20 gems, wow. Some nonsense picks here, but that's how it sometimes go at the end of the draft. But I have plenty enough playables here. Okay, so this was the deck after I had finished the draft. So I don't have an Evolving Wilds here. I think my creatures are not quite large enough for an Altar of Dementia after all. Yeah, I am going to cut it, but there was a chance I draft a deck that actually can, you know, use this better. For example, multiple, maybe unearthed creatures. Well, I have a couple of them, but in general, just larger creatures, because of course you have to. But when you mill with Altar of Dementia, try to get the mill victory. You require to mill at least 20 cards. Sometimes even more if the opponent is trying to aggro you out. So, I mean, if I have 3 power creatures, it's not gonna be that easy. So I'm going to remove the altar from the deck. And what are the other cards? Okay, so I have to now decide on the white splash. That is 2 white cards, 1 white card with a white, one card that has an unearthed cost that requires white. Because if I'm splashing white, I'm gonna play the Sentence and the Loran. I think there's just about enough artifacts to return with it to make it worth it. But then again, this is 8 cuts. I'll cut the lands one out. I think this could be a 16 land deck, by the way, with the Citadel Stalwart. It can be a 16 land deck. I don't think I need a clear cutter for anything either, because I don't really need a 3 mana 1/3 in this deck. And once I have access to 6 mana, a 3/6 isn't interesting either, and I don't really need the mana. The only scenario when I actually need, a bunch of mana is when I have the Helm of the Host on the battlefield. No other card in this deck really requires mana that much, so I'm going to cut that. How many creatures? That is 20, so I will cut some creatures, maybe some non-creatures. It would be easiest just to not care about the white. Also makes the deck more consistent. So let's lose the Sentence and the Disciple of History. I will probably play the Cohort. I think I might use the I'm not gonna play the Flash, but I might play the Refractor. There's nothing that exacts. Oh, there's a Strong Bull if I'm gonna play that thing. Perimeter Patrol. How many artifacts that is currently? It is 9 artifacts, and some things make Power Stone tokens. Well, a few of them cards. Maybe one only. The Explosion here. The Chain Dancer isn't good, but it's actually somewhat interesting in decks with double Giant Growth. If they take this, it's 10 damage if I have 3 mana available and a Giant Growth in my hand. And also I don't have that many 4-drops. This could be just an on-curve play as well. I kind of feel like I'm gonna play it. How about the cuts then? I could see actually cutting the Strong Bull and the Energy Refractor. I like the Refractor because it is a way to get the Unearth going on. The only other option is the Citadel Stalwart here. How about the 2 mana creatures? How many of them I have? Let's do it like this. That is 8 2 mana creatures. I don't need to play all of them. But the question is Rock Hunter, do I want to have a reach creature rather than a ward 2 creature? Because I'm gonna cut at least one of the 3 ones for sure. Alright. I could have like 1 ward 2 guy, 1 reach guy. The ward 2 is not so bad with the Giant Growth. The opponent will need to have extra mana to interfere with my combat trick. But then again, the reach can block some annoying things. Because usually the problem with the these 2 mana 3 ones in this format is not that the opponent has like a disfigure. There's not even a shock variant. Well, except in this alchemy set there is. It's not like there's a lot of cheap removal that gets it. So the ward 2 isn't that great because opponents don't usually want to target this with their premium removal either, because it's just a insignificant body. The problem with the 3/1 is that it's gonna trade with the the 1/1 tokens that not only this card makes but many cards make them. So I don't think the ward 2 is that important. I'm going to cut that thing. But I think this is like an aggro deck which wants to play stuff early. Which means I'm gonna play this other 7 2-drops and the Stalwart. So I like the Patrol. I have a few ways to trigger it. Inspector makes some of this stuff still cheaper. I have 9 artifacts still left, but well, I guess it's only 2 cuts anymore because I'm gonna play 16 lands. 2 cuts, what are they going to be? Now if I play the Refractor and if I cut the Strongbow, the Refractor doesn't generatize with anything else than giving me mana for the 1 unearth cost that my lands won't be able to pay. Because I'm thinking about cutting both the Refractor and the Strongbow and just play the cohort regardless, with only one Citadel Stalwart being the way to unearth it. The Inspector is a 3 mana 3/2, but I believe it. Even if I cut the Refractor, there will be 8 more artifacts. Well, actually, it's an artifact itself, so 7 cards it will discount. Do I have anything like higher impact here? Cards that I would want. I mean, I'm thinking about just not playing the cohort after all. The creature count is 18, so I could. Let's try it like this. I cut the Refractor and I cut the Strongbow because it starts to be a quite low amount of food for it, and the 3 mana 2/3 isn't great. And now this would be a 16 lander right here, but this is 17 creatures, 7 non-creatures. Now, if I feel like the cohort isn't quite gonna make it because of the only one way to actually unearth it. 4 mana 3/1 plus 1/1, it's not an unplayable stat line. But is there something funny I could do? I mean, I'm thinking about playing something like a Tonus Tinkering because I don't play that card like ever. And I haven't seen this played by my opponents either. So it untaps the permanent, gives 2+1/+1 counters, and even if you don't have creatures, so this normally pump spells have the issue that if you don't have any good target for it, you can't use them. This can also make a 2/2 out of any land or artifact you also might have. So, am I going to try this? I mean, I'm not sure if the problem is that this is better on offense when you get to unearth it, but also on defense because the 3/1 can trade with something like the opposing 3/3s and you are happy about it, and the 1/1 is an extra blocker for, jump block if you need it, or just, if your opponent has anything that has 1 toughness. Not so great, but when you attack with a 3/1, the opponent has a lot of options to have a good block on it, and if I can't even unearth it, it's not so great. And in this deck, I'm more interested in attacking, so I'm actually not playing the cohort, and for the first time in the history of this format, I will play this card. I haven't put this in my deck earlier, but I wanna now try it. It might feel like this kind of a pump spell heavy build can help me push through when the opponent gets to stabilize. So and of course the Helm of the Host is one way to also win a game where opponent can't deal with the card. Alright, so I think this is the deck. Let's put Sanctum here. Now I have more green than red, but thanks to the red 2-drops, I think I'll just play 8+8. Although the Stalwart gives me red, but it needs something else. No, I need to have, let's say I have a 3 forest starting hand and a Stalwart. I would also need to have like a 2 or at least a 3-drop that I can cast. Well, I guess that's gonna happen. This thing also requires tapping the land and also 2 other green sources. So basically, you can activate this at 5 lands, one of which is this, but you have to have 2 forests in addition to this Argoth. So I could see actually playing just 7 mountains, but that means there are starting hands where I maybe can't play one of the 2-drops that are red. But hey, that's life. I think because, two reasons. There are more green cards in general, and one of my mana fixers is green. And also because this thing requires a lot of green to work, I'm going to just play more green. So that means still 8 forests in addition to this Argoth thing. and 7 mountains. And yep, it's not a consistent mana base because 7 is a little bit too low, but it's also a premier draft where you are, it's best of 1, so you are more likely to have like good starting hands with 3 lands, for instance. But I mean, that could still be 3 green sources, but whatever. This is the deck now. I don't think it's that great, but hopefully I can cast a couple of free spells with this thing during the event. And yes, my rank is silver because this is the first time in December I'm playing a ranked draft because I normally just play the best of 3 which isn't ranked. Now I have this 3 green source starting hand, but then again I have a 2-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop which I can all cast, so obviously I will be keeping this hand. 4 castable spells is actually ideal. You can't really have easily any more than that. And the patrols can be 4/3s if, I mean, it might just trade with the first thing, but if not, it will attack for a couple of turns thanks to the Thopters here. Oh, that's a really good one. So you can pause and read it, but first of all, it's a 3-mana 1/4 that creates a Power Stone token, and then maybe later in the game when you can sink the mana to it, and of course you can use the Power Stone. This is just getting unblocked and of course gets the perpetual boost too. Now, if they are willing to block here, I think I might use the Giant Growth here, but they said that no. Which I don't actually mind, because I'm not worried about them using this ability right away. That would take almost their entire turn, and I have here a way to actually raise them. So let's say they tap this thing by attacking and, pay 3. Obviously, I will be in a good shape in terms of, damage raise here. Oh, I got also that thing. Well, I'm gonna make the patrol into a 4/3, and with 1 white open, I'm gonna let them block with the 3rd path Savant, which they might do. I'll get rid of it. Not that it's gonna be a threat anytime soon, but I guess they did have 5 mana already. But as long as they have plenty of cards in their hand, I don't think they wanna spend 7 mana to draw more cards. They have to do something to the battlefield. Okay, now they presumably use that ability. They didn't have to, because of course I wouldn't have blocked with the 2/1, but then again they also now have a 3/4. Okay, you know what? I get the thing. Unless they have a counter spell. Oh, but this needs... oh no, this needs red. So, at the beginning of combat. Alright, so if I had red mana available, I would actually be able to Giant Growth now. Well, it's not possible right now, so I think I'll just... I'll just get the trigger for the patrol here, and if they have a counter spell, then this still has Unearth, so wouldn't mind too much. And I'm also dealing a lot of damage. I assume they have something they can deal with one of my things. Welcome, okay, so I boosted its power. So 1 non-land card in their hand will gain flash now. It can be a creature, it can be a sorcery spell, it can be a planeswalker. But, well, planeswalkers can't be used on your opponent's turn, so it would be not that amazing. Mindbreaker. Oh, but they gave this thing flash. Why would they play it on their main phase? Alright, Sylvan Smite. I was on the... okay, this actually says good. I was on the play. Questions needed, so my opponent was the starting player, so this is not going to give me the counter, but I can use the Taunos Tinkering here. Let's go. They can't block with the Mindbreaker, they could block with the Prodigy thing, which they might do, and then I can use the Taunos' Tinkering. Interesting, actually. I think I want to just push for the damage. I don't care about this 9 damage, but they will have half my deck, that's no problem. But I'm dealing 6 now, and I can deal 8, which is great with the flyers I have. So let's do this. Now they need to gain life, deal with my almost entire board here, or I don't know, but hey, I haven't drawn any of my 7 red sources yet, but got a couple of my unearthers there. How many red sources? 1, 2, 3, 3 mountains. So there's still 4 left here in 13 cards. I'm not gonna block. I can use the Silver Smite with that thing. Okay, and I got this, which is good. Because now I can use this and then cast the Giant Growth for free. And then I still have the Silver Smite. Or I could just have another attacker that has, you know, haste and 2 power, which is enough. I think that might even be better. So let's do that. There's a lot of things they need to be able to answer now, right? I'm gonna discard the Chain Dancer. So, am I gonna try to smite this guy right away? The thing is, they can have the destroy a thing. Deal 3 damage to a tapped creature, gain 2 life. I'm gonna try this. Let's see what happens. Okay. I have to win now, right? Okay. They could have conceded because I was never gonna not attack with the Thopters, but they wanted to see what I do. Okay, that was game 1 and match 1 because this is best of 1 format. Okay, I got some rank ups, of course. Dr. Acid. Alright, I got both my colors and 2, 3, 4. I'm on the draw this time. At least I have one spell in my deck that is gonna be slightly better when you are on the draw. So, 2 Mistress Foundries by sacking a land. This is great. Also the mask is very good. Time to Mutt here. I don't need 3 forests in here. 2 is plenty enough. I'm gonna... Although Mutt can be used to give this guy an additional power, but I mean, I'm not gonna pump this. Yeah, let's do the Mutts after all. Because I want this to be alive when I'm close to 7 mana, if I'm gonna be close to 7 mana. And well, this is 5 lands and this is gonna be an extra. I sack 1 to gain 2, so yep, I will be quite easily going to 7 mana, but let's see if the sprite can survive. Oh, this is really good. Oh no, sorry, it's not. This is different from the... I thought it was the white thing that gives... You know, gives some perpetual boost to your next creatures. Anyway, this thing was a 3 mana 3/3 and now they have an Urzetron in their deck. Now they will have access to a lot of mana, which is good with the Mask of the Jadecrafter, but not much I can do about it. Because when they attack with this thing or when this dies, they get to seek one of those. So it's actually good now for them. I will block it just that they don't get the 3rd one right away, because of course they attack now, they will seek. And when it dies, they will get to seek. So they don't get the full Tron right away. They will have to draw the 3rd one. Of course, if they can make this survive the combat, it's a different story. We'll see. I mean, it's still good. It gains you lands. So they have now 2 lands in their hand, and they traded it by 3/3. Okay, their deck has a land that is, you know, diluting the spells a little bit. But yeah, this start was very good for the opponent because they had it very good too, even though it doesn't affect the board immediately. But this is gonna be a very big token very soon. And now they had this 3-drop, and now the Crusher prevents me from doing any kind of an attack here. I will sacrifice now. If I don't need so many mountains, I'm gonna sack a mountain, even though I have the extra forest here. So I have a couple of foundries there, which are fairly useless now because of the 2/5. This no longer does anything, so it's just a 3/4 for now on, so I don't care if it dies. You know, I could double block this thing. They have an Urza's Mine, of course, because they have 2 of the Urza's lands now. But if they get the 3rd one, naturally, this is gonna be like a insane card. Because also the Unearth will be like a 8/8 or something. Alright, so this threatens to be a 4/4, but it actually isn't enough. This is not an assembly worker. Yup. Well, there's no attack because of the 2/5. I think I'm gonna lose to the Mask of the Jadecrafter now. There's no attack here. Can't do any attacks. I might lose to this amazing Urzetron plus Mask of the Jadecrafter, assuming they find the tower as well. Well, there's more big things that prevent me from doing much. I know there's the sprite which can, you know, attack. The opportunist is the only thing that can block it. But this is so slow to try to grind with the sprite. Okay, well, I mean, I guess this is just what I'm gonna do. I wonder if I should use the Sanctum of Nature. I mean, you can't do this many times because of the mill effect. You can use a few times during a match, but I think it's more important to get this to grow in size. And just hope the opponent doesn't have anything. I will have to make some kind of a double block in here, and I mean, this is already gonna be a 9/9 token. I don't think they need to be any greedier trying to find the Ursus Tower because this is... Oh, now they also have a trick of some kind. No, they don't, because they chose to pump their 5/2. Well, I mean, in that case, I'm gonna do this block. I hope they don't have a trick, because of course I'm dead if they have a trick. So I only just trade it with the mud, and I can get rid of one of my extra lands now. And they get a 9/9 if they crack the token right now. Mask now. The token can't block the sprite either, but sadly the opponent is at 22. Partly thanks to the Boulder Branch Golem being such an amazing card. Oh, it was an 8/8, I miscounted the mana, but who cares, that's still plenty. Alright, so Mutt shall do some work here, finding me a good card of some kind, hopefully. Well, that's actually a good card, and it's 9 mana to do all this in one turn, which I will have available on the next turn from the lands alone, plus the Stone Seeker is 2. So I don't have to necessarily show them that I have this thing. So this thing, I can take the... I'm wondering if I should attack with the sprite or not. Can I... Well, I can't pump it anymore, because I have only 6 mana here, so it won't be a 6/6 to trade with the Golem. And the 3/4 does already job, does deal with the 3/2, but I have to jump, of course, the 8/8, but I think I will jump it with... This will die, of course, the mod. I will jump... I could jump it with the land too, but... I guess I could make a jumper with this thing. A lot of options. I was kind of thinking about the Stone Seeker, but I could have a jump block. I mean, I'm not gonna attack with the sprite. I can double block the Golem, actually, with these two. And then what? I mean, if I don't lose the Stone Seeker, I can still use the Helm of the Host on the next turn. Let's attack with the Mutt. Let's attack with the Mutt. So, because I could block with one of the foundries here. Play this thing, block with one of the foundries. And because of the Power Stone this Stone Seeker gives me, I could still have a 9 mana on the next turn. Now that is of course a bit risky. Or I can just use this and not play the Stone Seeker at all. Have a double block on the Golem and jump block the 8/8. These all assuming they have nothing to interfere in the combat. Then I can Helm of the Host. This thing get an infinite amount of Mistress Foundries. They are tapped lands though. Or I can just play the Stone Seeker and the Helm of the Host, and then I can do stuff on the next turn. If I draw something like a spell. This is really tough actually, this is really tough. Because there are all kind of options. I can just use this if I want to, for the jump block. I guess I'm still doing this. And maybe I'm just gonna... I kind of don't want to show the Helm, but I mean, if they have an answer for the Helm anyway, one copy of some of my creatures won't be enough. So if they have an answer, then again, okay, I'm not gonna show it to them because I don't want them to, block the Crownbreaker. I think they will kill the sprite rather than the Crownbreaker. When I double block the Boulder Branch Golem here. That's the thing. But then I can start copying the Crownbreakers, which will be amazing. Okay, they do that. So I'm going to go for the double block here. Or I mean, I'm figuring out if I need to... I guess it's just safer to have the Stone Seeker block that 8/8. Because if I lose a land, it's the same thing to lose the Power Stone. So let's do this and hope they don't have it. Now they're gonna get another big token here, but and that's the, or they can do something better too. Okay, they are gonna deal with the Groundbreaker, and these Mistress Foundries can't pump themselves if they are not attacking, so you can't make a big blocker with the help of the other one. Now, I mean, they're gonna get another big token. It's not as big. Okay, they play a Prowler. I'm at 9, so I can take even the 8-8, but of course I will be jump blocking it. Oh, look at this, they have multiple Jade Craft. Oh, they actually milled what? How many of these? Okay, but they are unearthing post-combat. They don't want to have the hasty attacker. I mean, I don't mind. But they still have 2 more tokens, but I mean, I'm gonna get a lot of... If they don't have an answer on the Helm of the Host here, I'm going to get a lot of Mistress Foundries, and they can be used to jump block and... Okay, so this thing goes away. They all are tapped now, so I'm not attacking, obviously, that's not the game plan here. So let's see. Idea is to jump block the 8-8, and you know, basically if they don't have a trick in their hand, they can't even attack with the 3-2 and the 2-2, because I can just eat the 3-2. And then once I get to untap these Mistress Foundries... Oh, please, no. No. It bounces my guy. Well, I guess I still have them. So... They get to duplicate... Okay, they have one of these guys in their hand too. So I can't eat the 3-2 because I would die, so this is just... Oh, I mean, I can still play this and equip, but I'm not sure if I... Oh, Strong Bull, that means I lose. Sylvan Smite, that would have been... Man, they had the bounce spell. This was really annoying, because I think I would have been able to win. Now I can play this, but I don't have mana to both equip and use the Sylvan Smite. That is really sad, because the equip is 5. And I have only 6 mana after this. If I had one more, and the Mistress Foundries will be tapped. I mean, I guess I don't have to equip it. So I can also do it like, I don't even know what I'm doing here, but I feel like I can do this and this. Okay, let's sack the one of the forest. If I want to use this Sanctum, I will need to leave 2 forests, but then I can do this and leave mana up for the green thing, and this activation is 2 mana. Well, anyway, I can now have the Sylvan Smite, and I think I'll need to... Oh, but this is enough anyway. I have only 2 blockers. No. Yeah, of course, this board is so wide. I didn't even realize. Even if I kill the 2-3 here, I block the biggest things and I still take 5. Yeah, the thing they were able to bounce my... Come on. Yeah, they bounced this. Because if I would have been able to get another copy of this, I could have played the spells in my hand now. And you know, with these Mistress Foundries, as long as they don't have tramplers, I have a lot of blockers. An amazing amount of blockers. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that Alchemy allows you to do. Of course, it required a pretty specific combination of a retro mythic rare and an alchemy rare, but I mean, just ever-growing Mistress Foundries would have been a very fun way to eventually first stabilize with and then win the game with, but no such luck. Okay, another bronze player here. I have a decent hand here. Yes, I can dig into more lands, and now this Sylvan Smite will be... Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, so if you weren't, yeah, so it doesn't show anything yet, but well, it shows that the Pandomio is, so my opponent is the starting player. Now, was that... Did I misread it earlier? Was I actually on the draw? And I thought I was on the play, because I think it was my opponent's name. Anyway, let's keep this hand. Yeah, I think because the first time I read this, I noticed the hanger there. I said that yes, I won't get the boost, but it was my opponent's name, right? If it says my name, then it doesn't give the +1/+1 counter. I might have messed up somehow there. Alright, so Mine Worker, which can't block the Argothian Sprite. I'm not sure yet what I want to discard with the Mutt. So I'm gonna wait for another turn, because I do want to get the 4 mana, because I have the Groundbreaker here, of course, that's great. Oh, by the way, look at this opponent's deck. That is, in fact, 63 cards in their deck. So, and they're counting their hands and board, so they are playing 70 cards. No, that's actually 72 cards. Well, they got a pretty impressive start for that. Let's see if I can actually... Okay, so what I do here now is I'm just going to get rid of this guy and play the Stalwart. Oh, I don't have... No, I can't do that. I can play the Stalwart and the Mutt. So let's do that then. What I'm gonna discard... I guess it's gonna be the Taunus Tinkeril. I mean, it's kinda... okay here. I think I could get my opponent with it. You don't have to discard anything, and the thing is that the Stalwart is already my 4th mana source, but I think I still do this. Okay, so I can attack with this guy because it can't be blocked even, and then I can, you know, block with these guys. I don't know if I want to block with the Stalwart. Well, I suppose next turn I can play a tapped land and use the Sylvan Smite. But yeah, let's see if I can win an opponent with 70 plus card deck. That's all the drafted cards and a bunch of lands. But they go 2, 3, 4 with this. So, I mean, that's a good job. I do want to get rid of the Scrap Troller before it starts doing stuff, because you can read it what it does. It can actually generate them some value given the cards they have. So if this guy now dies, I'm definitely not blocking it, because then if this is in their graveyard, they just get it back for free. So let's just take the 2 now. Make sure I have the 4 mana this turn by tapping something. Well, at least I can attack with the Sprite. I kind of want to actually kill the Stroller, but I suppose there's no rush doing that. I'll attack for 2 here. Do this and just get my... I can sack a... I don't want to sack my forest because this... I might want to trigger this... activate this a couple of times, but I don't need 2 red mana for anything, so let's do it. Of course, as long as the Stalwart is alive, it can also make any color. But now I'm at 5, so I can... Even if the Stalwart would die somehow, I have the Juggernaut I can cast now. But I think before that, I will be killing the Scrap Troller. Well, they might, you know, present an actual, you know, better threat, but then again, the Troller is a threat as well. It can generate a bunch of cards. Well, they will have mana for some big plays, but we'll see. So it has to be lesser mana value. So if they... Well, first of all, they don't have an attack. There's no reason for them to attack. I mean, they could have a Disfigure, but... I mean, they get the Mind Worker back when this Troller dies, but so what if this dies for free? I'm not gonna take 2 damage. Let's see if they have a Disfigure. They did not. Alright. Okay. So... Again, plenty of options here. Well, if I attack with the Groundbreaker, they will double block. Of course. Pandemia was the starting player, so they still give me a counter. I mean, I can try to be a little bit tricky here, actually. Let's see how they block. Because if they double block with the retrieval units, I can save the Groundbreaker with the +1/+1 counter. But of course, if they also include the Troller in the block, it will be a little bit different. But yeah, this was the most logical block they could make. And now I get to do this. So I will get a counter, because I wasn't the starting player, this says. Well, this thing, well, I know they were the starting player. This deals with the scrap trawler. And now they get this, you know, the mine worker back, but that's all they're gonna have. It goes to their hand, not to the battlefield. And then, of course, my guy won't die, and they lose one of the retrieval units. And then I can't just play the because of the stalwart. I can also play the juggernaut here. All right. Well, they played, you know, cards on starting at turn 2, but of course playing 2, 2, 3s, you know, turns 4 and 5 isn't the biggest impact they can have with those. I mean, the double foundry is really cool because, you know, 2/2 gets +2/+2 if you use the other to help it. It's a 4/4 attacker. Okay, they kill that thing. Well, it still can come back, but it also takes most of their mana. They can play with the power stones. Something, and they have a dragon engine. Wow. Alright, well, that's a fairly decent set of cards. Excavation, Explosion, and the dragon engine, for instance, given the number of cards in their deck. So, well, it still can't block the sprite. The sprite is really good. So, if I make them, I'm thinking about attacking with the foundry here. I would have 2 mana left over, and this could give me a 3rd. So I can't attack with the foundry and pump with it. But of course I don't have to pump it. But if they block, well, I mean, this is a double strike, though. It would trade with the foundry regardless. I'm not sure if I like that. I think it's better just to do this, actually. I'm just gonna push for some damage now. I know I could have also given a counters to the sprite, but this is fine enough. They don't have a good block now, because they can't block the sprite, and this is 5 toughness, so the double striker won't help. This is 11 damage I'm presenting, and they take it all. So let's see how they're gonna dig out of that. Now, can I die to some nonsense with the double striker? Let's see if they attack with it. I could consider blocking with the mutt if they actually attack with this thing, but I don't think they can give it +5 power. Yeah, at the instant speed at least. Okay, are they gonna discard their final card? Sibling rivalry. You know, that could have been bad if the race situation was like a more problematic one. Alright, so what do I draw now? I mean, I just win the game unless they have an instant speed interaction, because all the creatures are artifact creatures. So let's do this and see if they have anything here. That is the power of the Algothian sprite. And I get some more rank progress here. A little bit slow, seems to be. Okay, it didn't even show it. Okay, again I'm on the draw with a pretty questionable hand, having 2 pump spells and then a 5-drop. Even though the mana is rather good, I'm gonna mulligan this. No matter what the opponent does. Even if the opponent mulligans to like 4, that's actually even a bigger reason for me to find a hand that has a fast start. They kept 7, and this is good enough. And even though I don't have the red yet, I'm not going to ditch it. I'm gonna ditch the honor guard here. I think the mutt will, if I draw additional forests, I can discard a forest for the mutt, or you know, I got the mountain right away. So let's see if I draw another land. If I do draw a land, it's easy business deal. Okay, well I did not. Well, I still think I'm still gonna discard a forest here. Get to my spells. Because, well, the sprite again can't be blocked by the worker, but at least I guess now they don't have an attack. Okay, oh, they have the. I'm afraid they will have the full set of these things, but I suppose I can kill one of these guys. Do I want to use a giant growth here? Yeah, I'm willing to use a giant growth to deal with the tower worker, and then I can still play a sprite here, because it also cuts mana from them. They weren't willing to block there. So I mean, I could still use the Excavation Explosion to deal with the worker, but I don't know. I prefer to have this thing. Now, if they do play the 5-drop, which they can do on the next turn thanks to Tower Worker providing mana, this will tap then for 3. I'll just have to kill one of these. I'm not sure. I don't like them getting life. But let's see if they have it. That would be not a bad curve out at all, and they do. Not a bad curve out at all. So now they can gain 3 life with this thing. At least my sprites are again unblockable here in this situation. Okay. I'm actually willing to deal with the... I mean, you get the 2 for 1 or 1 for 2 actually with the Mutt. I mean, Giant Growth and Mutt. So I'm gonna first attack here. See what they do. Attack with both, I mean. They might not block at all, but if they block with the Power Plant Worker... First of all, if they block, that would mean they probably have another one. They did not, so now... No. Don't really like the fact that they're gaining life from that thing all the time. This gives them mana, makes it easier to pump this guy. Now, they could have either of these in their hand, and I don't know it, so... But I can't let this happen. They will first of all start picking counters on this thing if I let them untap. I can't let them untap. So... Mana or life gain? I guess the mana is in the end slightly better, so let's deal with that. They can get their 3 life now, and I will take... I mean, they might attack for 6 here, they might attack for 8, but I believe they are not gonna use 3 mana on this now. Please don't have another Tower Worker. That was such a nice start. And my deck is fairly low on removal. So if they do get another Tower Worker, I mean, I can just lose to this 3. Erasing it will be rather impossible with the Mind Worker getting 3 life and this thing picking counters, but that did not happen now. So they can attack for 6. Alright. Power Stone Prodigy. Oh, I'm still willing to, you know, use the Giant Growth on whatever block they may or may not make. Because I have actually mana to play my 2-drops and the Giant Growth. So, I don't even, you know, make it any worse. I mean, my curve out would still be the same. So now... They only gain 1 life unless... Okay, more colors. They can loot. So, I can block the worker and use the Giant Growth here. To take a 2 for 1 or 1 for 2 rather. It's of course pretty risky to their open mana. Okay, they just play that pre-combat, so maybe they are not planning to attack, they wanna use the mana on something. Now I think I need the Giant Growth to attack past these guys. So I think I'd have to take the damage if they choose to attack. It's possible they are... Okay, they just pump it. So now I have all the information. I mean, I guess if I get 1 mana, 1 land, and then I can start pumping these guys, and the battery bearer won't in that case be able to... you know, block my sprites. So either I draw a land or a spell, and both are good now, unless the spell is like super weak. It's not like this guy does much in this board either, so let's use the Giant Growth here. The opponent was kind enough to do all these pre-combat, but I guess they needed to do it if they wanted to do it in that way. Alright, so now I can do this thing. This is actually pretty good now, because they can't block and I will activate a sprite regardless. So Okay, that's a mistake. What? And now they have lost 2 of their... Well, one other reason to make the trade here is actually I didn't even realize it, but is to just remove stuff from their tree of synergy pieces, because now they have to find 2, the specific 2 ones to make the combo work again. So, and they have now only 5 power because this Drake is a 5 mana 2 power creature. It has haste, it can do something with artifacts, and it has 4 toughness, it flies. It's still quite a lot for 5 mana. And these Argotian sprites, they are a problem for the opponent. They have only 1 blocker which can jump block. These things won't even jump block. And they can't raise me that well. First of all, I just block the Mindworker with my Mat, so they can attack for... They should attack with the Ursa, of course, because it has Vigilance. I'm tapped out. I'm not gonna block with the Mat, so I should be at 11 now, but I take it. Alright, so... Well, I'm not gonna do anything else then. Attack with these guys. I'm winning this race easily. Man, these sprites are so good. I don't even have to care about the fact that I've drawn more than half lands in this game. I actually have, because there's land in here too. There's like 8 lands and 6 spells, but no problem. Let's pump this guy so I have 2 4/4s. They're gonna go to 4 now. And this board is not gonna deal 12 to me. They are gonna go back to 5 when they activate the Mindworker, of course, but... Okay, first of all, they didn't loot, and second of all, they didn't use the Mindworker either, to gain 1 life. So this is like a... I'm getting a little bit easier here. And of course the block with the battery barrier, that was pretty weird. They just prevented 4 damage that way. I don't think it was worth it. Because they could have then start to raise there. Okay, well, with this mana base, this isn't gonna be easily anything else than a... this is actually a second game in a row when I just win with the sprites, because they have only 1 blocker and these are both lethal. Oh, but yeah, because even the 1 life here doesn't matter, because the one that doesn't get blocked will be a 6/6. So that's GG. Unless they have something with 1 green. Yep, that's just how it goes. Yeah, sometimes, because I don't really play ranked drafts that much, I mean, I've kind of forgot that when you drop to silver rank, sometimes you have this like let's say, slightly easier matches. Of course, when you go to Platinum and Diamond Mythic, it's gonna be very cutthroat. But yeah, this is I mean, this and the previous match, and maybe the first one too, not really the hardest I've had in this format. But it won't last long, because once you get this double progress for each win, you are soon in the Platinum rank, and then that's where the skill level starts to catch up. So I go to gold, I suppose, now. Okay. Okay, I'm on the play, and I have a... Oh, this could be the dream. I have the melt through with the Charcel. Please, I wanna do it once. I wanna do it. I mean, I wanna do it more than once, but at least once. Okay, so... Alright, a Mutt here. I mean, I do want to get the turn 4 play here, but I think I should still discard 1 forest, because most of my spells are very cheap. I can cast them for 3, so if I hit a string of spells, it's not really the worst. And now I'm super happy I did that, because if I didn't discard and I draw the 5th land, I would be like, why did I do that? Alright, this is perfect. This is perfect. I guess I let them first, block into my supply drop. They're never gonna block here, because of course it's a bad trade for them, but who knows. And then before they untap, I'm gonna do this thing. And now this triggers at the beginning of combat on my turn. So, okay, there's no target for it. And you don't have to, of course. You may cast the spell, but of course I have now something a lot better to do with the Foundry Groundbreaker. Okay, I have actually had for 3 alchemy cards here. I think this deck has 4, the 4th one being the bite spell. But this is funny stuff going on, so yeah. They got the wings, which is really bad in this situation for them, and I get a nice mana ramp here. And of course, very meaningful attacking lands too. I love this card. I don't think it's like a straight up bomb, but it's a very strong rare. I wish this alchemy draft format was for available for 2 weeks, but I guess the popularity drops very quickly, and there might just not be very many. Very many drafters if it takes any longer. Alright, so I can't deal with that using the shock. So of course this no longer is anything else than just a 3/4, so I don't mind the trade. They actually might use the they actually might use the Hoarding Recluse ability so that I lose the shock if they can, but it's a mid-card. They can't really think of. They might do that. Damn it! I'm thinking about playing this pre-combat just for that reason, so that I can use it and have the intensity of 2 here. Man, but I don't think that can be right. I'll just do this, and I use the supply drop. I guess they can block the mud, and then they can get rid of the mud with the Hoarding Recluse trigger. That's right. And they are happy about it. And I'm a bit sad about it, but it's more important that the shock variant stays in my graveyard. Yeah, this is fine. And now I can play the post-combat Rock Hunter. This is all fine. Now this might seem like, that I'm 1/2ing myself. But then again, I do get to draw a card from the supply drop at some point. So now they're gonna target the Scrapwork Mud, which I'm fine with. That is totally fine, and I can apply more pressure to the board as well. Now I could have played a pre-combat Inspector. I just realized it because then this would have cost 2, so it was a mistake. And if they don't block at all, then I just play the 3/2, 3/1 regardless. Okay, now I have a perfect target for my shock. Let's do it. Let's rather tap this thing. Alright, please let this work. I want to grow the intensity here. Let's go to combat. Come on, no, don't do anything. There can't be anything with this amount of mana, right? I mean, that destroys it. Not with these colors. Even the instant speed bite spell won't work. Now, let's cast Melt Through here. Now, if they have they could have the hexproof pump spell, but if they have like just a giant growth, this will actually do some nice work. It will die anyway because damage won't relieve. But I mean, they could have a. No, this is actually fantastic because this says damage won't. This says damage isn't removed during cleanup step. So once this giant growth effect fades away, this will die anyway. Of course, I'm not attacking now because it will die. That is how how alchemy can, I guess this could be printed in a non-digital world, but it would require a bunch of bookkeeping, and I don't think that's really what is so great. Okay, so now if I have a 2-mana spell, I can start casting those. They have a Steel Seraph, though. That is one way to win a game. But let's hope I can find something, I guess. Oh. Because I was thinking about cracking this supply drop, but of course I can just attack with everything now. And because I could activate one of the Mistra's Foundries too, but I think I'll just Giant Growth and Perimeter Patrol. I mean, assuming if I want to attack with the Mistra's Foundry, I would have to tap 3 of my mana. Then I can't cast my spells. So this is all fine. I don't mind if they block the Rock Hunter and then my Giant Growth won't be able to save it, but the main idea is to get rid of the Steel Seraph. This is almost lethal, by the way. If they don't block, it's 12 damage and they have 13 life. Wow, that's almost lethal. So I actually should have attacked with the Mistress Foundry, because then if they don't block, I win. I didn't do the math. I guess they would have blocked in that case, but I mean, it would have been good for me. So I definitely should have done it like that. I made a mistake. Yeah, because I could have attacked the Mistress Foundry and the other one would have still been able to pump my guy. Alright, well, it is what it is. I mean, I'm still, of course, in a very good shape. If they want to give this thing lifelink, then it won't have Vigilance, and this won't be able to block anything. So, I still have my Giant Growth here. They have a Pole Barrier, which is, you know, they can gain 8 life with lifelinkers, but they are at 12 in that case. Is that? Now I'm gonna do the math. So now I'm gonna actually see if I can win through the one blocker they have. Is that gonna be possible with Foundries? Let's first see what I draw. Well, that is an additional 3, so now I don't have to activate the Foundry. So let's see, they block a 3 power guy. They take 9 and then they take 3. Oh, they actually, it's lethal regardless, right? Yeah, I don't need to do anything. It's lethal. I'm glad this doesn't work on opponent's turn. If they would be able to give this lifelink, that would be quite crazy. So this is already, without the Excavation Explosion, it's 12. So that actually means I had a lethal attack regardless, without any cards. Because, as you can see, if I don't use the Giant Growth, I have an alternative play here. Activate the Mistress Foundry. Tap 2 Forest, for example. Activate this attack as a 2/2. Tap the other Mistress Foundry and the Mountain to make it a 4/4. So, I mean, they can block the 4/4, but then they take 4 3 power guys, and it's 12 anyway. So I had to, actually they left themselves dead on board. Not that they were, I mean, they were dead on board anyway, because if they don't gain the life from the Seraph, obviously my attack will be lethal, regardless. Okay, I'm on the draw. Yeah, it's a refreshing change sometimes to, you know, see these starting hands with the algorithm, you know, because in best of 3 you just have to mulligan so much more often. You don't have these kind of, you know, 3 lands, both colors. Not that the, I mean, the algorithm doesn't affect the colors. But anyway, the land count, the ideal land count in limited, for most limited deck is definitely 3 or 4, and that's what you have a lot in best of 1. I haven't really had to mulligan much. I did make 1 mulligan, but in a best of 3 event, when you play 6 to 9 matches, you will have mulligans in them quite often. All right, so they don't do anything yet. Well, I don't have to do anything yet either. They could have the flash thing, that, you know, the 1/2 flash flyer to block with that, but I would have used a Giant Growth in that case. I have, of course, again my Foundry Groundbreaker. Man, this card is so nice. I mean, it's just a 4-mana 3/4 that basically ramps you for 1. And then, of course, it's so much more because they are Mistress Foundries, not lands without any other abilities than mana abilities. Okay, so my Giant Growth is actually very useful here now. Oh, and I can even play, you know, a 3. Wow, that wasn't dream draw, so I can just attack into that thing. I can trade my 1 mana spell with their 4 mana spell. And now that they didn't do that, I can just play this guy. And have more attackers. Yeah, I do like the Giant Growth in this kind of decks, but I haven't really been able to draft this kind of a red-green aggressive decks a lot in you know, regular Brothers War. Because yeah, this is a pretty effective, you know, pump spell for 1 mana +3/+3 is no joke. So they said creature spells will be cheaper now. Okay, well, I mean, they might have now their own giant growth. So what's my game plan here? I could activate the Mistress Foundry, but I don't think it's necessary right now. Yeah, if they have their own giant growth, they'll still taking so much damage here that I think it's fine. So now, of course, have to commit to this thing. No other choice. Yeah, they have something at least. Their own giant growth, but they take 6 and they're down to 5. And I'm gonna have, I mean, I might have be even. There was a world where I'm not sure if I was supposed to play that land. I thought I can play 2 more creatures. There was a world where I don't use that giant growth at all. Let my guy die, and then I have a lethal attacker with a Thopter on the next turn because this plus giant growth is exactly 5. It's a possibility. I think I'm gonna just put all the. I'm not gonna discard this spell here. I'm just gonna pressure them a lot here because, of course, I have now 5 attackers taking the Mistress Foundries into account. So they have 1 blocker. That's 2 in the air. So anything that deals 3 will be lethal. But yeah, they have discounted creatures now. If they have like a, they can play, for example, 4 2-drops in theory. If they have 2 white 2-drops and 2 green 2-drops, they could play all of them. But they didn't have anything of the sort. Alright. Let's see what's the new rank. I haven't really paid attention. So gold tier 4. Okay. Okay, again, this kind of a decent hand, except that there's no cheap creatures here. I think I'll still keep it. I'm on the draw and I can melt through something first. And I will draw some creatures at some point. I have like 17 or something. Didn't I? Yep, they can have their refractor. I'm kind of telegraphing my shock here, but so what? If they don't play anything that has 1 or 2 toughness now because of that, maybe they don't have anything else to play either. Okay, so I'm at 3. I haven't drawn a creature. This is actually... Is this actually 3 lands back to back? Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't have anything, so I'm not under pressure here. And hey, I can make one of my lands into a 2/2 if I really want to. On the next turn. I don't really want to do that though. Well, there is something I can't deal with. I can give it 2 permanent damage, of course, but... Alright, well, that starts to be a little bit of a... On the joke side, I mean, 4 lands. I kept the 3-lander and now I have 7 lands after 4 draw steps. So... And the opponent also decided to play a creature, which is a 4/4. I guess the Juggernaut can, block it. Oh, they have also all the... all the mana, all the colors of mana. Hey, this is like a... bad timing. Alright, well... Let's do the Juggernaut, let's see what... My opponent is, of course, having something to deal with it. They are not gonna just, pass a turn without playing a spell. So, that is an overwhelming remorse. So... This didn't quite go as I planned. But hey... I don't think the keep was bad. I just really kind of assumed that I could be drawing something, and or at least the opponent plays a target for the melt through, but they did not. Alright, but I'm not dead or anything, so let's just I guess play the creatures, and I still have the melt through here. Sure. I could. I mean, another option is to leave mana up for the supply drop, but yeah. Am I going to use the melt through now? I'm not gonna double block, not gonna lose both of my creatures here. Especially because the Inspector makes the supply drop 1 mana cheaper, which, you know, could be relevant. So if they attack, I think I'm gonna before blockers, I'm gonna use the melt through. See if they can counter it or save this from it. Because of course if I block and then use this and they counter it, that's just miserable. That I can take the 4 damage there. At the beginning of your end step, choose a creature with the choose doesn't target. Okay, so this gives a... Alright, this is miserable. So they're gonna kill my honor guard here. Which means they're not gonna attack, because they would have attacked otherwise. First. Because of course now I would just, you know, double block that guy. Yep, that is really... So I'm gonna just... When I control no creatures, sacrifice this thing. So I guess that was now already a 1-for-1. And it's also going to be... That's another land, by the way. I mean, I could just attack. No, they are never blocking because they lose their enchantment. So I guess the game plan here is, I mean, I can't even use the Sanctum of Nature here. The game plan is just to, you know, because they have to sack this when I have no creatures. So I'm gonna just, you know, not play a creature here and not activate the Sanctum here. This is a really good card. I'm glad it's a rare, because this could be quite annoying to see it as an uncommon. Okay, so they can use a prison sentence on that thing. But actually, it's kind of good for them, because now they can attack with this guy now. I mean, I know I could... I could make one of my lands into a 2/2 jump block and use the melt through, but that's so many cards I'm losing here. I guess what I can do is... Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna... What the f... What the... Oh, it does untap it. Oh, sorry. Because I thought that it would have used the mana from my mana pool, but yeah, that was actually the smart thing to do, because it does untap it. Yeah. Anyway. I can use the supply drop here too. It's probably better to use that than the melt through. I should have tapped the for I would want to have the melt through still available, but I now didn't tap my mana, because I could of course tap the forest here. Now they're gonna save their guy, but I guess that's... Yeah, they destroyed. Well, the melt through wouldn't have helped, but at least I didn't have to take any damage here. But problem here is of course that I have used so many cards just because of this one elite here, and I still can't play a creature. Oh, that would have been good. The opponent is a starting player, so okay, let's draw a card here. I take 4 and then this dies, and then finally that enchantment is gonna go away. So let's see what they have. I mean, if they flood out or something, I'm still in the game, but this has been a fairly annoying set. Well, I can make a few creatures. I can mill myself at least 3 times, I believe. Easily 3 times. That's 3 2/2s over the course of many turns, of course, but I think I might have the mana for it. Finally, bye-bye. Besieged, but this is a good card. Very good. But why the opponent isn't playing any creatures? That's a little bit weird, I guess. Alright, so what I can do is Rock Hunter and a Sanctum of Nature, if I really want to do that. Yeah, I can do that. I'll jump block there. I don't know, not jump block, but I will double block that guy. No, they're gonna have some interaction, but they're gonna run out of their interaction at some point for sure. I lost a Thopter, Giant Growth, Sprite. Okay. Now, I would have played just the Rock Hunter and the Sylvan's Might if they weren't tapped out. If they were tapped out, because of course I can kill it now. Okay, so I think I'm gonna take 4 damage here. This cry to where? To the top. Don't like to see that. Disfigure, well, that's fine. So I'm gonna give a counter to this guy, which is not gonna use it for anything else. Oh, actually that's not correct, because I believe it's time to not play around something. I'm going to do this. Hope they don't have anything. Do I wanna use the Thopter this turn as well? It's gonna... Maybe not, because I can't attack with it this turn. I miss out on a bit of damage. Yeah, let's do this. So this cancel. Make sure. Mad Wee Cat. Mad Wee Cat was the starting player, so if I wasn't the starting player, then this create... Yeah, I mean, it gets the counter, sure. Come on, work. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna wait with the Thopter to, you know, maybe get an additional point of damage in with this guy. But now they kept 2 on top after this cry, so I will see what's it gonna be. I don't like that. They get that thing back there. Well, fine. Let's kill it right away. I do have a blocker for it. Well, I guess I will... It's so tempting to attack with this thing, but then they kill the... or bounce or do whatever to this guy, then they just win, so... I have to be, of course, now very careful with this situation. Yeah, the fact they are holding that many cards, it's really scary. They also have only 6 lands, and I don't see any lands in the graveyard, so it's time about time for them to start drawing more lands, because they are at 21. That's like a 13 spells with 6 lands. And then they have a cantrip creature, which I don't like. So this was probably the card they kept, Scryed on top there. They have only 2 mana available, they can't really deal with both of these guys. Okay, they can do that. But I can give double strike to my Chain Dancer, so unless they are willing to take the trade. Okay, we will trade then. That's not useful. Okay, well, there went my... Oh, there went the Charsil. Charsil would have been really cool, because I could have changed from 1 to who knows how far. Well, I guess this is now as good turn as any to just unearth these guys. I think I have a Mutt still somewhere, so maybe it was a mistake to play the land, but I don't know. I don't expect I'm winning, because they're gonna unearth this guy. I'm not gonna block with the 2, so I go to 2. They can finish me. Oh, 5 colors. Wow. But it's only, you know, it's black and white, and then all these colors for whatever reason. I don't know what that might mean, but Yosin Vedic. Interesting. Well, I guess I'm gonna steal meal up a little bit. Well, there was cards I would have wanted to keep. Do I have my Helm of the Host here still? In the deck, I mean. Yes, I do seem to have it. So that is one way to actually win. Because I can't really mill anymore. If I mill 3 more cards, I will need to find my Helm of the Host soon now, I believe. Okay, so I don't like the fact they can, you know, these unearths are actually relevant sources of damage, because I had to take so much early in the game. So do I take the 2 here? I guess I'll take the 2 now. I don't really like it, but I need to draw anything that's not a land. How many lands I have here? 1, 2. Okay, my mills have been very spell heavy. 5, 6, 9, 11. Oh my god, I have what? Half the deck is lands. Half the deck is lands. Okay. I need a Helm of the Host right now. And now I lose. That flyer is gonna beat me. Alright, alright. So even the Helm of the Host. No, that would have actually helped, because I could have copied the Reach guy here. Well, that was a bit unfortunate. A set of draws at the beginning of the game. Okay, well now I go first and I have a very good curve out. Starting on turn 1 with the 1-drop. I can't... Yeah, this is fine. Can't double spell or anything, but this is such a strong start here. I mean, this is actually amazing. And I even have the Excavation Explosion here, if they have something. I think I'm still playing the Thopter now, but I mean, I could just play the Helm of the Host, but I think it's better to play the Flyer now. And just have this kind of one Menace guy, one Flyer here, already dealing a bunch of damage, and then I play this, and then on the next turn I have the option to equip it. And then I get slightly... That's slightly drawback, but I still have the Stone Seeker at least, so I can just play this thing, and if they don't answer the Stone Seeker, I can equip it on the next turn. I can also, unearth equip. At 7 mana I can unearth and equip to give me another reconstructed Thopter. That won't get exiled. But I'm at 5 now. That's not quite happening yet. I do have the Giant Growth here, so if they have a Disfigure I can counter that, but of course there are other ways to deal with the Stone Seeker, and I have to tap out on this thing unless I draw a land. So let's see. Maybe I just draw a creature, I can play that. Yeah. Or if they play a creature, I can play the Explosion, giving me another Power Stone. Yeah, the Realization wasn't like the worst in the world. It was like a 2-for-1, but I still have the Unearthed creature, and it's not like the 1-1 was like a huge thing there. Now they have 4 mana available, and they have a Goring Warblow. Okay, but this has Menace. Oh, I can cast my Stalwart here. I think I'm gonna do that. Yep, no equipping. It seems like they had nothing. But the Stalwart will give me more mana, so it's good. I don't have a 2-drop in my graveyard to use the Intensity 2, but oh boy, if I at some point do have a 2-drop there. I mean, if the Stone Seeker dies, that's it. I guess I hope it dies now. And then after that, because if I can double Excavation Explosion with the, because this is any spell. So I mean, I could play a pre-combat main phase Excavation Explosion, and then play it from my graveyard with Charsil. So that would be a pretty back-breaking set of plays. But I mean, let's not go that far. I guess the opponent still has the Helm of the Host to worry about. If they're gonna do like some kind of a tap-out system. I mean, if they tap out, I'm going to get another Charsil, because this, if the equipped creature is legendary, the token isn't. So I can get double Charsil, which would be amazing. So, -3, well, let's try to save it. They get still the life. This is one of the, if you went the starting player, and I was, so they got 2 life there. So the last gasp here didn't deal with the Charsil. Do they have other interaction available? They're gonna pass with 3 mana open. Okay. So I do want that the Stone Seeker goes to graveyard if they have interaction. Then I can cast it with Charsil. Yeah, well, that seems fairly, easy. Let's equip this thing, and if it goes to well, it went to combat already, so that's all fine now. So I can attack with this, and trading with the Warblow here isn't the worst. So Don't mind about that. Do they have a way to save it? Maybe Moment of Defiance? Nope. They could have a way to bring it back from the graveyard, but let's see if they can deal with the Jarsil now. The Jarsil already brought me back the Stalwart, which traded with their 1/1 Death Toucher, so that's already nice. And they just, I mean, the Helm of the Host of course wins the game if you can't answer it. It doesn't matter, even if they kill the creature under it. I mean, it's gonna keep equipping, and blue and black are of course the color combination that don't have easy answers to artifacts. Blue can have some auras that say that the enchanted artifact doesn't untap, but it doesn't even matter with the equipment. So it seems to be the final match, because I'm at 2 losses and 6 wins, so win or lose, it's gonna be the final match. On the play, with an amazing hand. Let's see if the Tinkering does. I think I cast it once. No, actually I cast it twice. But neither of those were really, it really didn't affect much. Am I gonna use the Melt Through? No, I'm gonna... I mean, I can play this later on. If they have a 1-drop I actually want to kill... I mean, I was gonna say it's gonna be unlikely. 3/3 versus a 2/2 Menace. I don't need the... I'm not gonna play a turn 3 Helm of the Host, even if I could with the Power Stone. So I'm gonna play the 3/3 here, because it's just a massive amount of damage. Well, I don't know massive, but I'm on the play with the turn 2 3/3. That doesn't often happen in Limited. Because not... I mean, if they had a 3/1 here, I could actually melt through it, so I had a good attack here. Now I'll just attack here for some damage, and then I'm gonna play my Stone Seeker. Now it's again a situation where the opponent has to deal with the Helm of the Host, but of course green has answers for that. But I can use this Tinkering if they're gonna block somehow. Let's see what's their... They're an opportunist. I think I'll just use the Melt Through on that thing. They have the Springleaf Drum, so they might have, a Giant Growth, but that actually, as we learned, doesn't help. That doesn't help, because it will have permanent 2 damage on it. But they're actually having a 3k, because of course the drum can, but it could be anything. Alright, so another play available here. I kind of think I'll just take the double striker, or the potential double striker, because I do have still the Tinkering, and the opponent is in trouble. I mean, it seems like I might not even need the Helm of the Host here. Another opportunist. Okay, so I can attack into that, and I can trade with it, I guess. Oh, with this thing I can make this deal 8 damage. Oh, that's almost lethal. Because I can use, of course, the Power Stone for this activation. So I have 6 mana, and if I give it 2 counters, it's gonna be... Well, that's a game plan. I can trade the Hajar here. I don't care about losing it, because I don't... Because, yeah, this is gonna... So if I now... I mean, I know I could save the Hajar, but I feel like they are having actually a Giant Growth. I'd rather play the Helm of the Host now, give them a big thing to worry about, and then I can maybe next turn win with the double striker. I can actually even activate this and still play the Helm of the Host. Yeah, that's a good idea. I deal 6 this way. And let's see if they're gonna have a Giant Growth. No, they are not. Or that was just the first strike, so I could still save this card, but I like the idea of playing the Helm of the Host more. And that was a trade, it was fine trade. Basically it was my 2-drop trading with their did I miscount, by the way? No, I didn't. If I used Tinkering, they would be at 2, not at 6. So, I mean, what was I saying? I was saying that in the end, even though this is like a rare and legendary and all that, it was by 2-drop and it traded with their 3-drop. That is good value for me. Well, there was a, kind of well, I guess the opponent didn't do that much. They played a turn 3 play. They were on the draw. Their first play was on turn 3. I was able to 2-drop 3-drop. I had a cheap removal on the return to replay. So yeah, this was just I mean, I had this fantastic curve out, of course, so that makes it easier to win. All right. So I was able to trophy here this event, but of course, some of the matches were pretty easy. So here's what I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna play these alchemy drafts a lot more than I'm gonna record them, because I want to just complete the alchemy set. I will be playing a bunch of these unrecorded so that my rank goes to at least to platinum, and then the next video that you will see in a couple of days, that will be a same format, but my rank will be platinum unless I get like a massive losing streak, which is possible. But then maybe the quality of play from also hopefully my own, but also the opponent's quality of play is maybe a little bit more interesting to see. So this was a trophy draft, 7 wins, but still a couple of the wins were pretty easy. I'm not gonna say buys. Buy is the free win in a tournament when there's an uneven amount of players and someone doesn't get an opponent for a round, they get a buy, which is a free win. So I'm not gonna call those opponents buys, but that you saw that was rather easy at the beginning of the draft to get a couple of wins there. Yeah, the deck, I think it had 4 alchemy cards. Let's put it there. This thing, I think I got even to use all of them. My first pick was an alchemy mythic rare, and then was this thing. Oh, was this? Yeah, that was all 4, I think. Yep. So I got to play all of these. Of course, the Melt through Silon's Might. Yeah, this was very good. I didn't really get to the point in the games where I was able to dominate with the lands, but you can actually just have a 4/4 attacker after you have 2 of these things, and that's basically free effect from this guy in addition to the ramp. Amazing stuff. Jarsil, yeah, I was able to do something with it. I didn't go up the chain like to the 3 or 4 mana slot, but even getting like 1 drop for free, it's still quite nice value. Of course, this is good, and this is good removal. So yeah, nice cards. I like a little bit of how the alchemy cards spice up the format for a while. And like I said, I'd actually prefer this event to be around for 2 weeks. But now that it's only for 1 week, I have to, make time in my schedule to actually get to play this format more than a couple of times. But yeah, this was like a red-green aggro deck, which I haven't been really drafting a lot in Dominaria United, Brothers War without the alchemy. Which, I mean, it's not like that the alchemy enabled this archetype, it should be there. Similar stuff. But it's just hasn't really been that open, and I hope I can do that in that format as well at some point. But yeah, this was the event here. Let's take the price here, and I will see you in a couple of days. Same draft format. My rank hopefully will be at least platinum. So see you then, and thank you for watching, and bye bye.